Welcome to FireRescue1's Extra Alarm, your audible source of original content from FireRescue1. This is Mark Bayshore, and I'll be the voice of this content for you. Listen to FireRescue1 content when you're out and about, driving to or from work, when you're looking for some alone time at the station, or during your career development time. And yes, we should all set aside some time each week for learning opportunities. Make sure to listen to the end because I'll be sharing my insights on the topic as well. Let's get started. Don't make it worse. The importance of proportional response on and off the fireground. When an organization underreacts, it can give tacit permission for inappropriate behavior. Overreacting can waste resources and even damage trust and morale. That's the premise from today's author, Linda Willing. Linda is a retired career fire officer who currently works with emergency service agencies and other organizations on issues of leadership development, decision-making, and diversity management. Now let's get started. There is a general rule in the fire service: don't make it worse than it already is. Firefighters understand the importance of proportional response in a technical sense. You don't use a deck gun on a trash can fire, and you don't take a booster line into a fully involved structure. But organizations may lose sight of this concept when it comes to responding to other kinds of incidents. A couple examples come to mind. 3 years ago, one citizen complaint about a firefighter washing his personal vehicle at the station led to a formal fraud investigation. More recently, a photo posted online of firefighters wearing Trump masks in uniform at the station resulted in discipline. In the latter case, was it inappropriate for the officer to go along with wearing masks in the station? Probably. Was it stupid for them to post the photo online? Definitely. Organizations can and should have policies in place that create guidelines and consequences for such activities. In this case, there was a policy in place that prohibited political activity on city property, although others have made the argument that wearing the likeness of the elected president does not constitute political activity. This kind of argument can go on indefinitely. However, while follow-up is warranted in this case, it hardly rises to the level of crisis. Counsel the members about the policy. Tell them not to do it again. It's a dumpster fire. Don't put a master stream on it. On the other end of the spectrum is the recent collision between a fire truck and a commuter train that resulted in more than 10 injuries and the destruction of the $2+ million apparatus. The fire vehicle had driven around stopped cars at a gated railroad crossing and around the lowered gate before being hit by the speeding train. The subsequent investigation resulted in a minor traffic ticket for the driver of the truck and no consequences for any higher-level officer, including the person on the rig who apparently approved or ordered the decision to cross the tracks ahead of the train. Each of these cases have nuances that are not available in news stories. There is always history and aggravating or mitigating factors, and every incident needs to be dealt with individually. But in every case, the response should be proportional to the actual incident or event. The problem with disproportional response is that it often makes the situation worse than it already is. When organizations underreact, it can give tacit permission for inappropriate behavior and create distrust, both within and outside of the organization. Organizational reputations may be damaged by the actions of a few. There is no accountability and situations can needlessly escalate. Safety can be affected. Members will lose faith that leaders will make decisions in a fair and professional way. Overreacting is a waste of resources. One can only imagine how much time, money, and energy were spent on the car wash fraud investigation. Overreaction also has the effect of damaging trust and morale and potentially turning members against one another. It can undermine faith in leadership and its priorities, especially if response to incidents is not consistent. Actions have consequences, but those consequences need to be fair, consistent, and proportional to what has occurred. When that response skews too far in either direction, problems are not solved and may be made worse. If you bring too little to a fire, the structure burns down and potentially involves others. If you bring too much, you end up destroying something needlessly. Either way, damage is done. The same is true when responding to incidents beyond the emergency scene. Boy, Linda touches a nerve here with a lot of folks. I agree 100% that the response to these things need to be proportional, and we need to not become consumed with the triviality of some of the things that we're seeing today. The best advice I can give a lot of folks is to, number one, keep your politics out of the firehouse, regardless of whether something is political activity or not. Just keep the politics out of the firehouse. That has nothing to do with the delivery of our service. And number two, BAFTK, back away from the keyboard. Sometimes your best advice can be to just stop for a minute, take a second, breathe, and either don't send what you're getting ready to send or don't say what you're getting ready to say. And in a lot of cases, those simple actions will keep us from becoming involved in situations like Linda describes. Thanks for listening in today, and remember, you can find this article and many more on firerescue1.com. This is Mark Bayshore asking you to keep safe, stay smart, and take care.